Good morning from the heart of New York City. This is Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Podcast dedicated to one thing: to learn and apply to eat better daily. I'm your host, Angela Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist, your personal health and wellness coach, your personal fat loss guru, your personal food detective, fat also, and just someone with a lot of passion for healthy eating, healthy food, nutrition, diets, looking your best, performing your best, and feeling your best. And if we put the right things on our plates and in our mouth, then we inevitably feel better, look better, and perform better on all levels. But because our food industry, till probably very recently, didn't really pay much attention to health aspects of food, but more of like caloric aspect of food and convenience of food, we ended up in a situation where most of the food, when you go to like a regular supermarket, not whole foods market, most of the food is not meant for long-term or daily human consumption, because it can lead to all kind of degenerative diseases and metabolic diseases, and that's how we end up with obesity epidemic still growing, and kids getting fatter and adults getting fatter without seemingly changing much, even though it is proven by statistics that people eat more often, that people snack a lot, that people add more calories to drinks, to snacks, to foods, to everything. And people just eat more, but also eat the wrong kind of foods, not the whole foods that nature designed perfectly for our bodies, for our health. Anyway, this is a short rant about healthy eating and how important it is. Today is all about macros, or macronutrients, or fats, carbohydrates, and proteins in your diet. And specifically, we are going to be talking about modified keto or ketogenic macros, specifically targeted to maintaining and building lean body mass, burning fat at the same time. So basically building your lean muscles, burning your fat for fuel, your own fat or fat from your food for fuel. And a lot of people these days are into ketogenic diet or some kind of low carb diet, but especially people and folks who are into ketogenic diet get confused about macros because, some people say, well, you gotta eat like 80-90% of your calories from fats, and some people eat, like me, for example, somewhere around 60% or 50-60% of our calories from fat, and it's still considered to be ketogenic diet, even though it might not be classical ketogenic diet. It's still ketogenic diet because most of your calories, 50-60% of your calories, will come from fat. So I want you to understand this. And I also want you to understand that classical ketogenic diet or high-fat diet was designed at the beginning of 20th century, somewhere like in 20s or 30s, 90s, 20s, 1930s, and it was meant to treat conditions like epilepsy or seizures or other neurological conditions. It wasn't designed to be a lifestyle diet or lifestyle way of eating for the majority of healthy population or people who are into a lot of sport, especially if you're doing something like high intensity sport, maybe CrossFit kind of athletic pursuits or endurance sports. It wasn't designed for that. 80-90% fat calories. This diet cannot maintain good athletic performance and lean body mass at the same time, especially if you're trying to build muscle. Forget about it. 80-90% fat in your diet, you're not going to build anything, because folks, you have absolute lean body mass, meaning mass in maybe pounds or kilograms, depending where in the world you are and what units you use. And you need absolute amount of protein to maintain and build more lean body mass. So usually if you consume 80-90% of your calories from fats, you're not going to get enough protein, and you cannot build a house in comparing house to your lean body mass without building material, and proteins or amino acids is that building material. And yes, you can maintain a certain amount of lean body mass eating 80-90% of calories from fats, but usually even for maintaining, for a lot of people, it's not going to be enough. You might lose some lean body mass. And again, if you're trying to build, it's almost impossible to build lean body mass, burning fat, eating 80-90% of your calories from fat. There is modified keto diet that a lot of athletes use, that a lot of fitness competitors use, bodybuilders, all kinds of athletes use, if they do use low carb, high fat diet, modified keto diet. Even Rob Wolf, one of the founders of paleo diet movement, he made this video that I'm gonna post a link in the show notes about keto macros and how a lot of people make this mistake trying to eat 80-90% of calories from fat, and then they fail to build lean body mass because it's just not possible if you're not supporting absolute amount of your lean body mass, of your lean muscle, with absolute amount of protein. So what I'm talking about, and here is again quick masterclass on macronutrients and how to build your diet to make sure that you're getting enough protein, getting also enough fat to be on a high fat diet and get most of your energy from burning either fat from your food or fat on your body. So let's say you're a female, and you're, average size female, right? If you're somewhere like me, 5.5, height, then probably if you want to start burning fat, if you want to start losing fat, building muscle, you want to get on a daily basis not a huge caloric deficit. It depends, you can go further, and I sometimes do that to get really lean really fast. But let's say you want to eat 1800 calories a day because you are active and you want to build lean body mass, but also you want to burn fat. So 1800 calories a day, it's a doable number that will give you some progress. So 1800 calories a day. And let's say your lean body mass is, let's say your ideal body weight is 120 pounds or somewhere in that range. So a lot of experts, a lot of fitness competitors, and myself included, we recommend to consume 1 gram of protein per pound of your ideal body weight. Some people, some experts, some competitors and athletes recommend 0.8 to 1.2 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. But for simplicity, we're gonna use ideal body weight in pounds. And so, for example, you're a female and your ideal body weight in pounds is 120 pounds. So that's the amount of protein that you want to get on a modified keto diet. So 120 grams of protein, you multiply it by 4 because 1 gram of protein gives you somewhere around 4 calories, and you get 480 calories. So that's the amount of calories that you are eating from your protein. And again, protein does not equal protein-rich food. So for example, if you need to get 120 grams of protein, it doesn't mean that you need to eat 120 grams of, let's say, beef, because not everything in beef is pure protein, not at all. You want to look up, Google, or maybe use something like MyFitnessPal that I use to count my macros. You want to put the amount of food you're eating, and you want to make sure that from your foods you're getting 120 grams of protein per day, around 480 calories. Then a good number for a woman regarding fat is somewhere around 120 grams, even more, depending on your calories, but probably around 120 grams of fat, and that will give you twice the amount of calories, that even more. You need to multiply 120 grams of fat by 9, and that's gonna give you 1080 calories of fat. So you have 1080 calories in 120 grams of fat. You have 480 calories from protein, and that 480 calories from protein, and that is 120 grams of protein too. And total is what is it? It's 1580 calories. So to hit 1800 calories, you basically have, what do you have? 220 calories more that you can spend. It's like, spending limit of calories. And whenever I have those calories, I usually probably might get some veggies, maybe some olive oil I cook with to hit this calorie number, because you don't want to hit a really big calorie deficit. Otherwise, you might end up starving and being hungrier than you want to be to maintain gradual weight loss and not get crazy because of your increased hunger. So anyway, or sometimes I can add a bulletproof coffee on top of that. I naturally prefer to add fat calories whenever I have more calories to consume that I already have from my protein-rich food, from my fat-rich food. And again, usually when you consume whole, especially animal foods like beef or like pork, like fatty fish, salmon, sardines, or whole eggs, you usually consume fat and protein in the same food. So it's not that hard to actually get your fat and protein at the same time. And then again, if you have more calories to eat, you just add either more vegetables, more things like olive oil for your salads or your cooking, maybe some butter, maybe some bulletproof coffee, maybe some dark chocolate that I absolutely love, 100% sugar-free dark chocolate. So, and that's how, and these are kind of ideal macros if your goal is to build the maximum lean body mass, burning fat at the same time. Now, of course, you can maximize that for building lean body mass, and then you're gonna increase your calories overall, but then you're not gonna be burning much of your own fat, because if you consume enough energy, it doesn't matter really what macros, then your body not gonna burn your own fat, because why would your body burn its own fat if you're getting enough energy already? So just on the question of fat loss, guys, it's really hard to calculate the exact amount of calories that you personally need, that your metabolism needs, digestion and everything. But what you can do is you can try certain amount of calories of food and certain macros, and then you track your results, ideally body fat and your weight. And if you see progress, fat loss progress, then you're doing everything right. And if you want to speed up the progress a little bit, then you can eat a little bit less, or be a little bit more active. If your progress, if you like your progress, the rate of your progress, then don't change anything at all. And if you don't see any progress, then again, you gotta change something. And a lot of times, you don't necessarily have to change the caloric the caloric density of your diet, but you can change macronutrients, like, for example, the amount of protein you eat, or fat, or carbohydrates, because different nutrients and different foods require different amount of energy to digest and assimilate and break down. And at the end of the day, if it's like 100 calorie difference, it matters, guys. So to recap this whole episode, we talked about ideal macros for building lean muscle mass on keto diet, and how to calculate your modified keto diet macronutrients, the amount of fats, carbs, and proteins. And we took as an example 120-pound ideal body weight female. But then if you're a guy, then obviously you're going to add probably on top of 1800 calories, another 400 calories or so, depending what kind of guy you are, how big you are, obviously. But again, the most important thing is to understand that classic keto is not designed for muscle building. It's designed to treat certain diseases and conditions. So it's not ideal for building lean body mass, burning your own fat. That's the first thing you want to understand. Second thing you want to understand is calories, of course, matter at the end of the day for fat loss, but it's hard to calculate how much calories exactly each of us burning. So I'd recommend to stick with the macros that we talked about. Check out also Rob Wolf's video in the show notes, and then work from there. Track your results. If you're getting the results that you want to see, then don't change anything. If you're not getting them, then figure out what exactly you don't like about your progress and figure out the way to make the change. And guys, if you need any help, if you need a coach, if you need a nutritionist, then always, or if you have just, questions, quick questions that you want to be answered, always feel free to shoot me email to Angela@createyourself.today, Angela@createyourself.today. Keto, low carb, building clean body mass, six-pack abs, modifying your lifestyle and nutrition to create the leanest body and the most health and performance on keto diet especially, but I also practice and I studied all other healthy diets and different concepts. So anyway, feel free to reach out to Angela@createyourself.today for advice. And calculate your macros, guys, because if you want to see results, measurable results, then you need to start measuring what you're doing. Otherwise, there is going to be no progress, no results. And it's not as easy as some people would tell you, like eat fat and you're going to build all the muscle you want and burn all the fat that you want. Doesn't exactly work like that. If it did work like that, people would not be that confused, and people would see more results. I mean, like, a lot of people are confused about macronutrients, about how much protein, how much fat, how much carbs, and what exactly the foods that one should be eating. And so a lot of confusion in the field still, and not so much studies also. But anyway, I've been ranting and talking for long enough. So guys, I'm also going to be releasing a video today about macros, showing on paper how exactly I'm calculating macros. So stay tuned for that. And till next time, eat better daily. And thank you guys for listening. Appreciate, love you all. Always feel free to reach out with your questions. Share this podcast with people who need it, and rate it on iTunes. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.